Hello, and welcome to another manga chapter review for One Piece. This time we have chapter 1124, titled Best Friend. Let's hop into it. We've got more Yamato in the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage. Nice shot of Yamato protecting someone, a lady. Only Child Yamato in the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage, volume 12. Foiling a kidnapping on the way to Curry, so they're stopping a kidnapping attempt. Shows that there's still some trouble going on in Wano. It's not all sunshine and rainbows there. There's still some criminal element active in Wano, which makes sense. I wonder if this is related to maybe some stragglers from Kaido's pirate group and maybe from the old Orochi regime in Wano, but maybe it's just regular old pickpocketing and kidnapping. So let's see, notes from Uda. Nob Rock TV did a limited time collab with One Piece. Their YouTube channel is a favorite of mine, so hurry and check it out. Well, that's interesting. Starting off, we have the World Economic Forum news. The balloon in the sky. Come on, let's rock. Of course he wants to act. Come on, let's rock. Woo! We're sitting on some juicy scoops. Stoke their fears. Paint a picture of the bleakest future possible. Use their desperation to push more World Economic Journal papers. So that's Morgan's celebrating, obviously, the news of Vegapunk's announcement. And of course, he's going to exploit it. Being the press, he's going to exploit it to sell more papers by stoking people's fears and paranoia about the state of the world. Vivi's response, that's gross. Even Vegapunk showed some optimism. Mind your business, girlie. I'll expose you if you don't zip it. What's wrong with you, you overgrown squawking liar? No one with a brain will dance to your tune. Then Wapple in the background. Hey, Vivi-chan, we don't need to get upset. We don't need to upset the fine gentleman and lose our only safe haven now, do we? So Wapple's trying to convince Vivi not to be so difficult with Morgans, because that risks him letting them loose, and they'll be hunted down, obviously, since they saw a lot. We can't pass this up. We can't pass this up. Even the truth is captivating now. The world's sinking. I'm the top dog in the sky anyway, so the upcoming era is perfect for me. I hope you won't come to regret talking back to me, princess. As if. If the world is ending anyway, I'm not going to grovel just to save my own neck. Hua! Just look at all these stories we've got to pick from. Hey, Vivi-chan, cool it. Emperor Blackbeard versus Trafalgar Law. Emperor Shanks versus Eustace Captain Kidd. And Emperor Straw Hat ruthlessly killing Dr. Vegapunk. Liar! Okay, we're back to Egghead. The marine ships still floating on the waters outside the island. The broadcast, come in. Bzz, don't tell me everyone's dead. And picking up the snail is Kizaru. You're awful loud, huh? Then we've got Akainu. Why are you the one picking up? Borsalino, what happened to the others? Now we've got a panel of Sentomaru rowing away in a rowboat, and he's crying, so I'm wondering, did he choose to escape? Or did maybe Kizaru send him away? Either way, it seems Sentomaru is escaping from the island, so he's going to be a fugitive in the future, obviously, unless they think he's dead. So, back to the broadcast. What happened? Egghead. They're all laid out, and and foaming at the mouth. What's going on with Saint Saturn? Is he safe? What about the power station? Did any of the targets escape? And Kizaru responds, I'll let the youngsters give you the details when they're up. You better not be slacking off again, Borsalino. Hey, Sakazuki, I'm curious. Have you ever had to kill your best friend? Then Akainu silent, listening, and Kizaru's starting to remember the past. That's a damn big head. I'm with the Navy. The name's Borsalino. How much you gonna pay me? Huh? This arrest is all a facade. You guys want my brain working for you, right? So how much funding are you willing to give me for my research? Heh, you're an interesting guy, huh? Now we're going a little bit into the future. What are you gonna do with this place? I'm gonna call it Egghead. When we're done, it'll be an island 500 years into the future. Lend me a hand, Borsalino. And we've got Sentomaru helping Borsalino and Kuma, and they're all lifting beams and wood and stuff, helping to build the island. And there's young Bonnie with Vegapunk. Hey, you know I'm an admiral now, right? Then we get a panel of Vegapunk being stabbed with Kizaru's light blade, so Kizaru's stabbing him and killing him. You think I'm slacking off, Sakazuki? Well, if you've got time to waste doubting me, come and see for yourself, you damn ingrate. And we got a close-up of his face, and he's crying, so he's in a situation very similar to what Garp was at Marineford, where he's had to sit by because of his duty and loyalty to the Navy and let terrible things, death, and destruction happen to the people that he cares about. So I'm wondering if this is going to have any effect on Kizaru in the future, or if he basically has two routes he can take here. He can either defect from the Marines in a manner similar to what Dragon did and what perhaps Aokiji did, or he can stay with the Marines and do similar to what Garp did and just kind of find his purpose to keep going with the Marines, even though he has suffered this loss because of his loyalty and duty to the Marines and their cause. But it is very interesting to see this in Kizaru, and interesting that Sakazuki doesn't respond to it. Okay, and the next panel, Sakazuki's silent. Then the broadcast continues, or not broadcast, but the message continues. That was my bad, brother. Just watch your mouth. And now we're back to the Red Eric, or the Great Eric, the giant pirate ship with the Sunny next to it. It's so quiet. I guess the party was called off. You got Frankie, Jimbei, and who is that? Zoro leaning against the deck, I think. It's odd to just stop it. It's odd to stop after just one drink. Yeah, and it's so strange to see Luffy so dejected. But I get it, we failed to accomplish our main goal. Please, can you take me away from Egghead? We got a shot of Vegapunk when he asked the Straw Hats to save him and take him away from Egghead. Oosh, Frankie is wearing a black cowboy hat. It's kind of cool. And he's wearing a jacket, or it looks like it might be a jacket. We had the 5 Elders, an Admiral, Cypher Zero, the Seraphim, and an armada of warships to get through. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. It's a miracle we got out of that hellscape at all. Then Jinbei, I'm with you there. It is Zoro that was leaning against the deck. And Zoro says, it's pathetic. He's an emperor now. An old man dying shouldn't affect him this badly. That's a bit harsh. Huh? You're awake. We've got Lilith waking up on the Sunny in the room. Phew, thank goodness. Are you alright? Lilith-chan! So we've got Sanji, Nami, Chopper, of course, was tending to her, and Usopp is in the background. Looks like he's building something or working on something. Beep, beep. Oh, right, we're on the giant ship. No wonder everything is so massive. This will be a bitter pill to swallow, but we have to tell you. We aren't able to save any of We aren't able to save any of the other Vegapunks. Please forgive us. Atlas hit you pretty hard, so it's understandable if you're disoriented. I see. It's okay. I've already heard about what happened. Heard? From whom? I just need to cry for a bit. Wah! And Usopp responds, how are you, the evil one again? Hey, I'm hungry. You got over it so fast. It must be because I'm no longer connected to York. Well, if you're hungry, the giants left us a lot of fruit. Say, the atmosphere from that table seems a bit gloomy, doesn't it? Damn it all. We promised to save Applegrams. And we got Luffy. He's eating food, but he's sad at the same time. The chapter says Luffy's been beating himself up over what happened. He's so down he's only had 5 bunches of grapes. That's plenty. And the grapes are massive. I see. So Luffy's been taking it badly. It's alright though. I just heard about it, I'm sure. What do you mean you heard about it? A second ago I was crying because I was sad about everyone's deaths. However, it's all a matter of perspective. Here's the truth. To put it simply, everyone's alive. Now we got shocked faces of the Straw Hats. What? Even if they're functionally dead. I don't get it. So they're ghosts? Basically what I'm trying to say is that you kept your promise to me. Don't be so glum, Luffy. Yo, seems like you're doing better, huh, Straw Hat? So Luffy's back to normal. He's feeling cheered up. Hey, Giants, thanks for helping us out. Aye, so you're feeling fired up now. Then let's have a feast. Bring the food. Get the booze. Zoro, Luffy is. I've been waiting for these. I've been waiting for this. Feel free to pig out. Blah, 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 blah. If we're going to Elbaf, we may see Swall. That's great, Robin. Give us a toast for the ages, Straw Hat. Vegapunk basically said whoever finds the One Piece will shake the world, right? And who do you think that's gonna get? And who do you think's gonna get it and be the Pirate King? Hey, that's why I said sail in the first place. I don't care if you're with me or against me, 'cause I'm definitely gonna be King of the Pirates. Yay! Cheers! So we got our nice feast shot of everyone celebrating. Okay, that's very nice with Dorian Brogy and Oimo and Kashi in the background, laughing and cheering. Nice toast. And so the ship sets course to the northeast, to the long-awaited land of giants, the fabled country of Elbaf. Gyagbababa. The new world, Warland Elbaf. Come on, then. What awaits them in the land of the giants? Chapter end, break next week. And the chapter ends on a mysterious figure on Elbaf, waiting for someone to arrive, probably waiting for Straw Hats to arrive. And I guess this would be considered the actual end of the Egghead Island arc, because we've had our feast here, and we've got a nice closure to the arc. And I'm wondering if this is new, the way that these narrator boxes are drawn. They look like rolled up scrolls of maps. So I think that's new. I haven't seen that before. But this wraps things up. We get a bit of perspective, added perspective on Kizaru and how he actually felt during the events taking place, because he did keep his emotions in check as much as possible. We get to see that he does regret what happened on Egghead, having to kill his best friend, having to destroy this island, which was basically his home. Essentially, since we don't know where Kizaru came from exactly, but he spent most of his time, since he was a pretty young man, pretty new to the Navy, when he first met Vegapunk and came up the ranks, becoming an admiral. We are getting some transitional information. We got the Straw Hats moving towards Elbaf with the Giants. I'm wondering how long it's going to take. Will there be any sort of between chapters? Maybe, maybe not. You've got the news from Morgan's, but there is an interesting point in this Morgan sector of the story is how did he find out the information about Blackbeard versus Law, Shanks versus Kid? I mean, the simplest explanation would probably be that his birds, his seagulls, were probably watching and came back to him and reported the events. That's one possibility. Another possibility is just the information network Morgan's has outside of the birds, the news coups. It's possible that he has people on the ground on those islands that reported the information. That's another possibility. It's also interesting that because Morgan's entire operation is floating on a balloon, he doesn't care about the state of the world. It doesn't really matter if the world floods because he's going to be floating in his news balloon. But the problem with that is eventually they'll have to get food, resources from somewhere. It's possible they could just go to Sky Islands to get resources and continue living, which seems to line up with what Vegapunk was thinking with his his island cloud manufacturing operation on Egghead Island. So the thought of humans moving into the sky on cloud islands to survive after the planet gets entirely flooded and submerged. And of course, Morgans wants to exploit the information, wants to use the news to terrify and entice people to buy more papers. It seems like Vivi's going to be with Morgans for a while, because even though they're conflicted, they're fighting with each other, Morgans doesn't really seem to be that interested in throwing Vivi off and Wapol off the boat. And Vivi doesn't seem to be that interested in leaving at this point. So they're probably going to be staying together for a while for now. This also means that the news of the events outside of the things that happen on Egghead will start to spread to the world. The world will find out that Blackbeard and Shanks have both eliminated the rookies that did have bounties just below Luffy's bounty. Or were they all at 3 billion? I thought Luffy was a little bit ahead, but maybe they were all 3 billion and Luffy has the Tyler Yonko. Either way, they both got defeated. They're out of the running for the One Piece, but they're probably not out of the story yet entirely. But I could go either way on that one. It's nice we've got the crew reunited again, since they have been separated for quite a bit of time. We're heading towards Wano. Or not Wano, excuse me, we're heading towards Elbaf. And Shanks, I believe he has already set sail from Elbaf, so it's not Shanks, 100% not Shanks, waiting for Luffy on Elbaf. The options are kind of limited as to who it could be. It's either a new character that knows the Straw Hats are coming for whatever reason, or it's an old character, but what old characters would be waiting on Elbaf for the Straw Hats that know them? Then there's the question of, is this a good guy or a bad guy? That's entirely up in the air. As I speculated last week, there has to be some kind of conflict and force on Wano, or excuse me, Elbaf. I'm gonna be making that mistake, calling it Wano, because I expect Elbaf to be an arc in the vein of Wano. It should be an arc in the vein of Wano with how much buildup there has been for Elbaf. So I think myself and along with a whole lot of other people in the fandom will be upset if Elbaf is not sufficient to justify all the buildup it has had since it was mentioned so early in the story. This will be the island with the most longest windup, the longest buildup in the story so far. This one dates all the way back to the East Blue, or actually just when they get into the Grand Line, because Little Garden came right after they got into Grand Line. And if we want to consider that it ties to Usopp's dream, then it does stretch all the way back from the East Blue. But the goal of going to Elbaf for Usopp and the Straw Hats didn't start until just after getting into Grand Line. So this is from the beginning of the story, basically all the way up till now. So this arc has to be big enough to justify it. Now there are lore elements that will most likely be revealed in Wano that are substantial enough that will make it a good arc. But outside of that, there have to be other elements. And I guess it can be achieved that there is a threatening force on Wano. Just by the size of the giants alone, they have a whole lot of power. Then we consider they are the most powerful race on the planet. And that power can't all be just due to their size, their brute strength, because of their overwhelming size. It also has to be because they are warriors, much like the people in Wano were, the samurai of Wano. So they'll have that going for them. Probably because it connects, Elbaf connects to Joy Boy. Perhaps Joy Boy, but most definitely the sun god Nika. So with that, it's possible that maybe there are lots of warriors that use hockey in Elbaf, which would be good. But the thing is, we can't see something like a one-to-one comparison to Wano taking place because of a couple of factors. First factor being there's no force strong enough to occupy Wano and conquer Wano or Elbaf. No force strong enough to occupy Elbaf and conquer Elbaf and sit at the top of Elbaf the way that, say, Crocodile and Baroque's work did in Alabasta, or Doflamingo did in Dressrosa, or Kaido did in Wano. So the structure is not going to be that sort of a evil army or a pirate crew takes over a nation and Luffy arrives and sort of busts up that pirate crew and takes out their leader. As we know it, there is no occupying force in Wano. Wano is entirely free. They're self-governed. The world government doesn't mess with them because they're so powerful. They're like Wano, but without a pirate crew having taken over them. So that brings up the question of how and why would there be a conflict on Wano? A force for Luffy and the Straw Hats to oppose on Wano. It can't be that the leaders of Wano are just naturally evil, because we've had no indication so far in the story that Prince Loki, who rules Wano, and probably his father, we've had no indication that they're bad guys. In fact, most of the giants we met from Wano Elbaf have been pretty chill and nice people, so, and they never speak badly of their home nation, so there's no question there, unless it's something that has been hidden this far, but kind of seems unlikely. So the other option is the force comes to Wano, something follows the Straw Hats to Wano, or coincidentally arrives on Wano at the same time as the Straw Hats, and that creates an evil force. But that brings up the problem of what forces out there are there that are strong enough to come to Wano and Elbaf, strong enough to come to Elbaf and survive on their own, A, and B, be strong enough to be a threat to Luffy, or at least something that slows him down a little bit. Can't be the elders, because the elders just got back to Mary Joie, and they're obviously going to have to recollect themselves. They'll have to calm down Eam and deal with whatever Eam's thoughts are about the fact that he felt Joy Boy's hockey again after all this time. They have to speculate what that means, even though I'm pretty sure that they can report back to Eam to soothe him and let him know Joy Boy's not still alive, and that hockey boost he felt was temporary, and relieve him that way. But that still leaves a bunch of questions, like where's Saturn, which we still haven't gotten the answer to that. But it's a good chapter. This is the official and the real wrap up to Egghead Island. So now the arc is officially over. In 2 weeks, we will probably be starting Elbaf. Finally, after all these years, all this time, 20 plus some years in the making, Elbaf. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. And I will catch you all in the next video. Till then, stay frosty.